Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. Hoi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you see me?
I can see you. Can you see me?
Yes.
All right.
All right, we're rocking and rolling, son.
Go. All right. Let's just get right into it.
Ours.
Welcome to the
Just because.
Just Because podcast.
That's the one.
We are your hosts, Marodelo and
Dan the man.
So let's jump into today's first topic. Is what we're going to
let's do, man.
Is we are diving into the song analysis. So basically, Dan the man and I, we send each other a song to listen to for the week, and we sit, we listen, we let it sit, and then we get on and we talk about it. So give me the rundown of the song that I sent you.
Okay, so you sent me. I'm gonna mess this up. So, songs you wanted more, and it's by Tonic.
Yeah, by Tonic. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just looking at my phone right now, and I'm like, good stuff, man. I really like it. Definitely a throwback, specifically for you because it's before your time.
It is before my time.
So it brought me back to like middle school. So I'm like, okay, I'm like hit right in the feels with it. I like the riff in the beginning a lot. It kind of reminds me, and I'll let you kind of agree with me, of the song that I sent you a little bit. But what I'll say is the singer sounds a lot like you.
Yeah. No,
which I was like, I thought it was being punked for a second. I'm like, all right, is Ashton Kutcher in my house? What's going on here? Like, hold on. But yeah. No, I was listening to it and I'm like, yeah, this is exactly like it's right on par for your sound, which I think is awesome. So
no, yeah, it's definitely I remember I clicked on the song that you sent me, which is Chief by Lettuce. And
yeah, Chief, it's a good one.
Immediately I was like, oh my God, the bass line kind of matches the hook riff.
Yes.
You wanted more by Tonic. And it's interesting. I've heard that song in so many commercials. Chief by Lettuce.
Really?
Yeah,
what's really?
I've heard that. It's interesting. I've heard it in like a bank and like the background of a Bank of America commercial. I'm like, I know this song. I know
that's awesome
from somewhere.
Because they're like, I mean, if you're not a big like kind of like jam band kind of fan, like if you don't listen to a lot of like Lettuce, Lotus, String Cheese Incident, Fish, like if you're like kind of a little bit outside that realm, you're like you don't get it. And here I'll say this the fun part: the opening riff, not a bass, it's a guitar.
Is it a baritone guitar?
I'll send you a live video of them playing it. You can tell me, because I thought the same thing. Because like if you hear it, it starts off, and then after like I think the first run through, you hear the bass come in behind it.
Wait, you know, let me listen to it again right now. So
all right, yeah, ready?
Right, it is a guitar. I don't know why I thought it was bass.
No. I mean, I don't have the musical ear. I thought the same thing, and then my buddy put it on. Like we were at a New Year's party, turning it on, and I'm like, I love this song. And then I saw the guitar, so I'm like, I'm dumb. But I mean, I definitely what you said is awesome, because like I mean, and I think this is a cool way for both of us to kind of like share our musical tastes. Because like we're like on polar opposite ends of the musical spectrum.
Exactly. Even though I think the one thing that we do have in common in terms of taste is the sound of a real instrument, real drums, real bass, real guitar.
Yes.
Real instrument sounds so much better than computerized. Like,
don't get me wrong, I've been to a lot of shows with live DJs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fun as hell. Great time.
But it's a different vibe.
Different vibe. A lot of different there's a lot of different weirdness and caveats to it too.
Yeah.
But if for my money, I'd rather go to like a punk show or like a ska show, get sweaty in a circle pit, like run over some like teenagers,
do some very not COVID friendly things.
Yeah, like spin kick some kids, just doing my thing. Which, by the way, as soon as we're back to some level of normalcy and Less Than Jake is touring again, I'm either going to come out to Philly and you and I are going to go, or I'm going to pay for a ticket and you're coming here and I'm dragging you in a circle pit.
You know what, dude? I'm an adult. I may not be as tall as you, but I'm definitely big enough to be in a circle pit and not get pumped.
Listen, everybody, here's what I'll tell you. There's a big stigmatism with it. Like, people are like, it's so scary, but it's also some of the nicest groups of people in the world. Like, if you're in the circle pit, like, people like knock into each other, fall over, people stop what they're doing, pick up the person to like, you good? Yeah, roll.
Yeah.
And if they're hurt, people part the Red Sea, get them out of there, and then go back to doing their thing.
Okay, good.
Like, it seems like from the outside looking in, it's a sketchy kind of thing. But once you're in it, you're like, I feel safe. If I fall down, I know I'm all right.
Yeah. It seems like one of those things where you have to follow the flow and the rhythm of the circle pit, because it's a river.
Yes.
You just follow the current.
Yes, it's 100% that. And then I've also been to like shows, not to go off on a weird tangent with the music thing already, but I've been to shows where, like, I'm sure you've heard of Anti-Flag.
No, I haven't.
So they're a Pittsburgh punk band, and they sing a lot of like protest songs, and like they were like on like the whole like they were on the whole like political and like police brutality, like way before, like I'm talking like 10, 15 years ago. They were singing about this stuff. I was at a show once where they stopped the show mid-song because there was this dude creeping on this girl, like in the front row, like me, like 10, like they're on stage. It's happening 5 feet in front of them. They stop the show. They verbally berate the dude, get security, and get him thrown out of the show, and then just went back to what they're doing.
You know what? That's great. I like that.
I was like, I don't even like you guys that much, but like, you just scored 1,000,000 points in my book because that's just dope.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is, like, whenever musicians do things that are like off the cuff, that are very genuine, like, I like it a lot. Like, I remember there was this one thing, this guy in Columbus, Ohio, back in 2007, he went missing, and they still, like, to this day, they have no idea what happened to him, right? But the lead singer, Eddie Vedder, he went, like, he's in the middle of the show. He's like, hey, I know this is a little like out of left field, but there's, a fellow Pearl Jammer who he went missing.
Yeah.
He's a handsome guy. Like, if you guys see him, please contact the Columbus Police Department.
Right.
This next one's for you.
Yeah. And no, I'm in the same boat as you. I love that shit because I'm just like, okay, like a lot of times you see artists and stuff like that like they have this like elitist attitude where it's like, I'm better than everybody, and I like, my problems are like my problems. I'm not gonna kind of like bring myself down to the people. But like, when you see especially like big acts like that, in your case, like when you're referencing Pearl Jam, like that's a worldwide known band. So for them to actually display some type of humanity, that's huge.
Yeah, and I feel like displaying humanity on stage is something that people take for granted and don't do enough of. Because the thing is like, there are some opening acts like that I'll go see. Like, I remember there was this. She's what is it? Our cousin Candace listens to her. Her name's Fletcher, and
Sure.
She opened up for it was Lainey, and I forget what she said, but she said something very like great that resonated with me at the very end of her set before the main act came on.
Yeah,
it's like, you know what? Like, her performance was amazing.
right.
It wasn't my genre of music, but it made me want to go and check her out and follow her and support her.
Yeah.
Based on the human, and that's something that I want to bring to my shows. Whenever they happen, of course, again.
Well, and I would say you will, because you were raised right.
Yeah.
And if not, I'll show up at your show and kick the shit out of you. So.
No, please do. If I ever need an ass beating, I'm sure my mom will know who to call.
Yeah, I will be the one. I will be the one on the side of the stage with the giant cane, like, get over here.
Put it around my neck. Get down here.
Like, we're gonna have a little conversation. Yeah, but So the guy, what made you pick that song?
What made me pick that song for you was I knew that you know what? The reason why I picked it is because, from for two reasons. Number one, genre-wise, I figured it would be the type of music, like the instrumentation that you would enjoy, but with a like a soothier voice.
So you were pretty spot on,
Yeah.
actually.
And I'm like, I wonder what he would think of the guy's voice. I wonder if he thinks it sounds a little like me. And I was right. I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, I listened to it. I'm like, it might be. I'm like, this is a joke. Hold on a minute.
No, they're such an underrated band. And that's another
Yeah.
thing, is like they have they have that song if you could only see the way she loves me, maybe you would understand. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And they have such good music, and and also just like their stylization is
Mhm.
just so not similar but reminiscent of mine. Like the methodology of the music is very like I would do that. But
Yes.
also I kind of chose it because I've seen my like the song is about you wanted more than I could give, and
Mhm.
it's about someone being in a relationship where someone wants, obviously, like what I just said, wants more than they could give.
Yeah.
And I've been in that. Not in the position of of the singer, but I've been in the position of who he's singing about.
Okay.
And it's kind of interesting to put yourself in the perspective of who the singer is singing to,
Yes.
and because
So,
like I know that there were relationships where I wanted more than
so would you say it's kind of reminiscent of, and we can pull the deep cuts later at some point,
yeah,
of what we talked about last week?
yeah.
Okay. Because I was as you were talking, I'm like, I wonder if he's like calling back to that. And yeah, it makes sense.
No, yeah. But that's why I chose it. So why did you choose Chief by Lettuce?
So one, it's all it was one of my all-time favorite Lettuce songs. Two, kind of exactly like what I already said. Like there's a whole plethora of fantastic bands in that like jam space that one, I don't think people get enough kind of exposure to. So anytime I can like show that to people,
Yeah.
I want to. And also like I would say for to make it interesting for you, that's why I sent you one specifically that was instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just think it's one of those things where again, you already said it's like we're both so very different in what we like musically. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna give me somebody with a keyboard hitting a button and dancing around, or like somebody with a guitar, a bass, a drum, somebody screaming into a microphone, I'm gonna enjoy that so much more.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's I mean it's just one of those, and it's also one of those things where like it's one of those just feel good songs. Like you start listening to it, you're like, I just want to dance and like I want to do stuff. Like you just can't help but like bob a little bit, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, like I listened to it when you sent me, and then I listened to it again right before our call, and
Mhm.
I was kind of like getting the area set up where I'm sitting now,
Yeah,
and I was kind of like, okay, like I could kind of I could see like a third person montage of me moving my shit around to set up for this call while I listen to that song. You know what I
yep,
mean? It definitely serves as a good house song,
yeah,
a good club song, and good background noise too.
yeah. And what I'll say is like if look at that entire album. There's I have the whole album on my phone. There's like maybe like three songs I don't like off it.
Mm-hmm.
Like because they're all kind of like they're like great for kind of like whatever you want to do, and just like you can throw it on and you're like, all right, like I know I'm gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting how you chose an instrumental, because I remember in the text string it said like I'm gonna throw you for a loop,
Yep.
and you certainly did. But
Well, you just wait. I have like five lined up that you're gonna be like,
okay, challenge me. Are they all instrumental?
oh no.
Okay, good, good,
No,
good.
no, you're gonna get fun stuff every week. It's like here's instrumental, here's like a death metal song, here's like an old '80s punk song, here's something that like I just listened to. Like,
Good. I'm glad for the variety.
yeah,
I'm happy that I got a lot of interesting stuff coming down the pipeline.
yeah.
But
I mean, like I will say I'm pretty set in my musical genre ways, but there's so much divergence in what I listen to. Like, because like whenever we drive anywhere, like I just put my phone on shuffle, and you can go from like, I can go from like listening to like a DMX or like a Snoop Dogg song to like Slayer or Metallica in like 3 songs.
Right. Yeah.
And so you're just like, I don't know what's going on, but this is an interesting thing happening.
Yeah. What a mix.
Mhm.
But yo, rip DMX.
Oh God, dude. I've been, but my buddies were texting me this morning as I was doing my birthday workout. And
Well,
I'm like,
happy
crying.
birthday to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Haven't even mentioned that yet.
Yeah. I'm an old man now. Hooray.
34.
34. I'm an old man. It's awesome. So I'm drinking whiskey at 3:30 in an afternoon.
There you go.
But my buddy was he was texting me. He was like, I wonder where they're gonna have the Royal DMX funeral. And I texted back. I was like, I would watch that. And then I was like, I wonder what song they're gonna set him off with.
Right. X gonna give it to you.
I was thinking that Rough Riders or Party Up.
Ooh.
Like those would be like the top 3 like bangers. Just like he's going out, we got to just put one of these on and just let it go.
They should do like a mashup of all 3. Because I mean, if you look, those are his biggest hits. And like it's interesting. I never really even knew too much about DMX. Everyone knows X gonna give it to you and like Party Up or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know about how big his legacy was until after he died. And I hate how, I mean, obviously, like I'm not a hip hop fan,
right,
at all,
yeah,
in the slightest. But still, like to read up on that guy and to see like all the things that he did and all the people he reached and the just the things that he did is just like that's something I aspire to do.
Yeah, no, and I'm the same boat as you are. I know about him because again, it's like late 90s. Like I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gravitating towards musically. So like all my friends are just kind of like, do this, do this, do this. Like, and so it was like I listened to a lot of DMX, a lot of Dre, a lot of Eminem, before I kind of figured out what I really liked. And then probably the first couple of albums that I actually spent money on and I got into the kind of punk rock kind of thing was Green Day Nimrod, which is a completely underrated Green Day album in my opinion.
It's a good album.
And Blink-182's Enema of the State, which everyone and their mother knows. And Rage Against the Machine, Battle for Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So those 3, I was like, okay, I'm starting to realize more and more what I like. And then Tom Morello is just a god. So there's that.
Oh, dude, Tom Morello, one of the most influential guitarists from an ideal standpoint. Like the kind of that guy thinks up. Like not everything he does is a wailing solo. He uses the percussiveness of the guitar in everything that he does, and I love it.
Yeah, and what's crazy is you listen to how different he is in Rage as he is into Audio Slave, and then he's got that other band now, the Prophets of Rage, which I've not listened to yet. It's I tried to figure out what it was, but you listen to it, you're like, this isn't the same guy.
Exactly.
And then you're like, oh, it is.
He's a lot like how Chris Cornell was an Audio Slave as well, and everything that Chris Cornell did from his solo work to Temple of the Dog, Soundgarden, every act that either of them have been associated with, they all did something different. They didn't repeat themselves.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean.
Like they still did their thing, but they did their own different thing.
Right, which again is it's bananas that some of those guys have been able to have that longevity and be able to kind of jump around that much, because I honestly can't remember if Audio Slave came first or Rage Against the Machine came first, but I think it was Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, no, Rage came first.
Yeah, so it's you have heavy rock, somewhat punk rock going on there, and then Audio Slave is more long drawn out, I don't want to call them ballads, but I don't know the other way to really describe it.
Yeah, no, they definitely have that I wouldn't say soft rock, but easier on the ears rock.
Easier, oh yeah, it's easier listening, more rock and roll type stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely it's because they're taking the Chris Cornell's heavy grunge inspired vocals and just all around sound, and
Right.
they're mixing it in with more of a rock sound than a grunge or a metal sound. And
Yes.
that's what made it for me
Mm.
with those bands,
No, yeah, that's me. But yeah,
So-
you're gonna get a fun variety of weirdness coming your way.
oh,
Like
so
every week you're gonna be like, oh my god, what is this?
you know what, man? I'm gonna do the same for you. After this, I'm gonna put together a bunch. I already have like 3 or 4 songs I want to show you, but I'm gonna get a playlist together.
All right, I like it. And one thing I want to touch on as we kind of this is a little bit interesting of a segue, and I kind of like it as we're going to get into the first topic that we're going to talk about.
Right.
One of the songs I'm gonna send you, and it's not for next week. I want you to just listen to it, because remember when I told you I was like kind of like what you're going through right now. I was like, you should write like a punk rock version of like what is happening.
Mhm.
I'm gonna send you an old song from a band called Minor Threat, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Minor threat. Okay. That sounds like a major threat,
Oh,
actually.
you're gonna like it. But segue into said topic, you did get the COVID vaccine.
Yes, I did.
But curveball!
Oh, I got the vid.
I got the vid. I got it. How you doing, man?
So, all right. So let's start from where it all started. So
Okay.
last week, around not this past Friday, but Friday before, I was in my room and I was kind of doing like the kind of cough,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Excuse me.
Kind of like what you're doing right now.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was very like my mom's like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm
Just
fine."
like scratchy throat. I need like a Halls and I'm good.
Yeah, that's kind of where it was, right? And then that weekend, I remember the next day was Saturday. I met up with my friends Alex and Drew, right? And then Drew and I went to the music video set one more time to get some last shots, right?
Yeah.
So there's Alex and there's Drew I've been with since my symptoms, right?
Mhm.
And then later that night, I hang out with my friends John and Brad, and the next day I hang out with my friend Dan. And keep in mind, like all these people have been vaccinated, and then also at the same time, like we're not hanging out in a big crowd. We're not like sharing any beverages or anything like that.
Right.
And then I realized something on Sunday. No, it was Saturday night. Saturday, when John and Brad were over. We actually have a video of it. But we had our first drink together as like the three of us all being of age.
Okay.
I told my friend take a video, right? And he took a video. We had the toast, and then we drank, and then we stopped the video. We went back to my room. We hung out for the rest of the night and whatever. But then I realized something, that at the end of the night, I picked up Brad's beer, and I was like, "You barely touched it." He's like, "Yeah, I just had a few sips. I wasn't really feeling it tonight." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." But then I went to go grab John's can. John's can was empty, and so was mine. So I threw them out.
Mm.
But I realized something, because when I told all my friends to get tested, I called them all immediately. Drew's negative, Alex is negative, Brad is negative, and Dan is negative. But John came back positive. Then I realized something. There's a in the video. I don't know if you could see it, but there's a marking on the can that was there from, I guess, whatever distillery he picked it up from.
Mhm.
Again, I don't know if it's in the video. I'll have to check. But the marking was on it was on John's can,
Yeah.
right? And the marking wasn't on my can. But at the end of the night, I thought about it in my head. I'm like, wait a minute, my can had the marking on it by the end of the night. So we ended up swapping things at some point, our stouts. And I was like, oh no. I mean cans, not stouts.
Right.
But so that's kind of what happened. And the thing is I'm wondering, I think that I picked it up and I gave it to John because he started feeling symptoms after I did.
Mm.
So I'm thinking, what's weird is that I felt symptoms on Friday. I was around like, some other people,
Right.
And but they didn't come back with anything. And then again, our mouths were on the same can.
Right. So it makes sense the two of you
that we
Like,
gave.
yeah, right. So yeah, I see exactly where you're going with this. So that I see where exactly you, like, one of you two
Gave it to, yeah, to the
give it
other.
to the other.
Yeah, and initially I thought from the start that John gave it to me because he's got a 3-year-old brother and a 5-year-old sister.
Oh,
Um, so I figured those are they're little germ machines. They had to.
yeah.
They probably don't have it, but they probably spread it to John because John like picked him up or
Right.
helped do something, and he came into contact with them. They're his siblings, and then came over and he gave it to me. But then again, I felt symptoms first, so I'm thinking I picked it up from wherever and then I gave it to him.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah. I mean, at least you kind of have an idea of what it is, and I'm happy that you're like not going through like the insanity that is like some of the stories we hear about it.
yeah, no, dude, like, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm also asthmatic, which really does not help as a singer. Um,
No, I can't imagine that's a great thing to go through.
no, it's not. But the thing is like the way that like I've learned how to sing, especially in like the past year, um, it doesn't really rely so much on how much on taking in enough air. It's about how you use the air. So thankfully my asthma hasn't impacted me too much on a singing level,
Okay.
but definitely I mean, I've had it my whole life, so it's impacted my health throughout my life. And I remember as a kid during the winters, I would do especially bad with my asthma. I'd have to go to the nurse every day to go take
Right.
an inhaler. So the repercussions of COVID have definitely been so much worse
Yeah.
because of the asthma. And I also feel like, also at the same time, I should also mention for those who don't know, um, both of my parents fully vaccinated. They got the Pfizer vaccine. I got one Moderna shot at the beginning of the month, right? And so I don't know if this is entirely true, but I have a friend who's in college and going for biomed, and
Mhm.
basically saying that if you have one of the vaccines, you know, you have some antibodies to fight it off, but if you get COVID, your body will have this freak out of like this is even worse. So your symptoms will be even worse if you only have one of the vaccines and not both.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's true, but if it is true, it's definitely ringing true for me because my symptoms, like, I remember the first night that it hit me. It was actually last Sunday when we were recording our second practice.
Yeah.
A couple hours later, I started to get like, I don't know. I just started to feel like really like there was something inherently wrong with like my body temperature. Like I was having the chills, and then the next minute I was like, I got to take off all my clothes, you know.
Interesting. Okay.
And it was like on and off and on and off, and then like it got so bad to the point where I didn't even want to move. I'm like, something's wrong with me. Like there's
Mhm.
definitely something weird going on.
Right.
And then I just proceeded to have the worst, like, coughing up the worst colored mucus from my chest, and like, body aches,
Yeah.
stiffness. I can bear, like, thing is I mean, I'm a sleepwalker, so I'm kind of used to not making it through the night. But
Right.
honestly, like, having dealt with the sleepwalking for as long as I have, um,
Mhm.
waking up to having to cough up a lung like 5 times a night, I would take the sleepwalking any.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like that helps at all.
Oh,
But I would
definitely.
say I'm glad to hear you're doing okay. And the moral of the story here, kids, get your vaccine, wear your masks. Don't be a pile of
Not being part of the problem. And you know what was like really fucked up is like, the day that I told my friends that I got the vaccine, and I put a little thing on my Snapchat story or whatever, and I'm like, can someone please tell me how I fell into the minuscule percentage of those who get the vaccine
right.
will get COVID, and whatever. And he's just,
Yeah.
and then some, I don't even know who it is. I'm not even like that close with the guy, but he was like, oh, the vaccine's fake. I'm like, how insensitive can you be to just like, that's the first thing you say to someone who's got COVID? The vaccine is fake. Shut the fuck up.
Well, I'm not gonna make my thoughts publicly known about how I feel about a lot of those people because if you could see what's going on inside my head, you'd be like, "You are a psychopath." Be just where it is. But I'm just gonna stick with, listen, wear your goddamn mask. If you don't, I don't care. Do whatever you want. But I kind of I liken this to the fact of like if you don't vote and then you bitch about who the president is, I don't want to hear your opinion.
Exactly.
So I know it's a weird I know it's a weird kind of parallel, but it still is. Like I'm just like, if you think the vaccine's fake, do whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah, it's like
I don't protect myself and my family.
exactly. It's like I don't want to hear you whine about COVID if you think it's fake or if you don't get the vaccine or any of that crap. Like I don't want to hear you talk about it.
Yeah. But I'm happy you're doing okay and it's not that bad. And then I know like your parents are okay with it. And then I guess my only question for you would be, how does this impact your second dose?
So that's what I'm thinking is like, again, with the same friend who was talking about, the antibodies with the first vaccine and then getting
Yeah.
it and whatever, and there's being a bigger reaction. She was basically saying that you may not even have to get a second vaccine because you already had, like, you actually got the virus. So you'll
Right.
have, if anything, more antibodies and more immunity because you got the live virus in you rather than the dead virus.
Exactly.
Whoa, a lot of sunlight coming through. But so I might not even have to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, I know that at some point I'll have to get a booster shot. But
Yeah.
at this point, I'm just waiting to call the doctor on Monday and get an idea of like what I should do
Okay.
because you know I don't really care either way if I do go in for a shot. Like I'm like the least skittish person when it comes to needles. Like it's not a problem for me. I don't mind the drive to Jersey. Like I'm right across the river. It's just a matter of like if it's right for my body or not.
No, I agree. And I mean, to your point, I just saw a thing like because we both got the Pfizer vaccine.
Right.
And I saw something. It was this week. I can't remember what day, but it was like the Pfizer like CEO or one of the people was like, there's gonna have to be a third booster shot within like 12 months of you getting the initial thing. And I'm just like, fine, sign me up. I'll gladly do that.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bother me at all.
Exactly. If it means that I'm going to be a little under the weather for a couple of days, it doesn't matter. Like
Right.
anything to end this madness because it's become like second nature to bring up this pandemic and just everyday conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm just thankful of the people that I have in my life where I don't have to bring that up as a topic point. Because I feel like if I have to bring up COVID as a topic point, I really have no reason to talk to this person.
Right. No, I know what you mean.
And then, and that being the only topic, but thankfully,
Right.
it's not like that with everything.
No, yeah. It's weird, but yeah. You excited for the fight tonight?
Oh my God, dude, that's tonight.
Oh, it's tonight, my friend. He was diagnosed with early CTE.
What's CTE?
The concussive stuff, like the brain, like the the football players, like they develop it, or like football players or fighters develop it after like years, like getting hit in the head. I forget what CTE stands for, but it's something to do with like your brain chemistry. Like, did you watch that Aaron Hernandez thing on Netflix?
No, I didn't yet.
Okay, something like that. Do you remember Junior Seau, when he killed himself?
Oh yeah.
So I'm not even gonna try to explain what CTE is. Google it later because I'm not a doctor. I don't want to butcher this, and I don't want the smoke.
Oh yeah.
But he was diagnosed with it, and he had to be cleared by another doctor to fight. And I'm like, okay, like I'm done with your bullshit. Like I hope Captain Dadbod just puts you through a wall. Like.
So it stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's not good.
It's not good.
No.
It's a whole bunch of not good.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But you know what?
But you don't fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. And like, you know what, dude? I'm not really superstitious or believe in karma, but I believe that I believe that things happen half because they just happen, and the other half they happen for a reason.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
and I feel like, you know, I honestly just hope that guy gets put in his place because because everywhere that guy goes, he just causes havoc. Personally, I'm not like the biggest like about fights,
Yeah.
but who do you think Ben's gonna win? I take it.
I think it's going to be a very interesting fight, for a lot of different reasons. And we touched on this last week, but I think it's going to be interesting for a myriad of reasons. One, I've been like kind of like watching a little bit of like some of the stuff that's been happening this week leading up to it. I know Ben didn't sign anything that says like this is just a boxing match. Like I think Jake got like tried to get him to like sign something that's like you can't do like some MMA shit, and he's like, yeah, I'm not signing that. So I don't know what wild insanity is gonna happen tonight. I'm just here for it.
Mhm.
And I mean, just in watching some of the stuff, like in watching some of the, like the interviews he's already had and stuff like that. Like I rewatched him on the Jason Ellis show. I actually watched him do Logan Paul's podcast about the fight, and it's one of those things where like he definitely has the advantage. I will say he does have is he definitely has that advantage where he's like, I've been in this situation with like real trained killers that want to kill me. Like I'm not afraid of a kid that's 12 years younger than me who's trying to be a boxer.
Yeah.
So I think like mentally he's leaps and bounds above where Jake Paul is. Can he box? I don't know because all of his MMA stuff, like he's a known wrestler and all this other stuff. So like, yeah, he got stuff for takedowns, but the dude can take hits. So that's the other thing where I'm kind of like, this is going to be an interesting fight. And everything I keep seeing and keep like hearing, I'm like, if the fight goes on longer than 3 rounds, Jake's in trouble.
Yeah.
Like if the fight goes long, he's not winning. Because like the only like in like even Ben said it, like if you watch some of his old MMA stuff, like there's like clips of I can't remember who he won his first belt against in the UFC, but like the guy's like punching him in the side of the head and he's just taking it. And then he ends up tapping the guy out like 30 seconds later. So like the dude can take punishment. The only reason he lost to Jorge Masvidal was because Jorge flying kneed him in the face.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
like
Yeah.
that's where my mind is on this thing. I'm like, listen, this dude's taking like punishment and is like, is that all you got?
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued by it. I want Ben Askren to win because I can't stand either of the Pauls. I don't know how they're famous. I don't know why they're famous. I just know they're both ass hats and
yeah, no, it's sad to see people with these sociopathic tendencies
yeah.
getting so far in life.
Oh
but
yeah.
that's because they know how to take advantage of their resources.
Yeah.
And that little clip of Jake Paul throwing that weak little punch and then shoving Ben Askren, I almost.
Oh yeah, when he face palms him and walks away. Yeah.
Yeah.
How great is that?
Oh my god.
How great is that? And did you watch any of the other? Did you watch like any of the other like highlights from that first press conference?
Yeah, where he's like, where Jake Paul is like he's imitating him.
Yeah, he's not saying anything coherently. Ben Askren is just cool, calm, collected, just like verbally destroying him. He's like,
yeah, it was kind of like watching the debate back in like October or whatever.
Oh, good.
It was just, I'm sure you could imagine who was who.
Oh yeah.
Who plays who.
It's not that hard to figure that one out. But I mean, I'm gonna watch the fight. I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see what Snoop Dogg has to say. It's gonna make my night.
Yeah, wait. What time is it? I feel so.
It starts at like 9:00.
At 9. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have like a little bit of coffee here just to like.
Yeah,
I'm watching this fight, not for the sheer fact that I paid for it. I don't care about that. I'm watching this goddamn fight because it's gonna just make me laugh.
No, dude, it's not. That's the thing is like, I love watching people who think they can box,
Yeah.
or just watching people do things that they think they can do even though they can't. It's just like,
It's hysterical.
it's music and butter to my ears.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best shit ever. No, it's just the best shit ever. Yeah. But yeah.
And you know what? Like, I hope that someday in his little brain that he has, Jake Paul, whatever little brain he has left, I just hope that someday he realizes like how big of a douche he's been. But honestly, he probably won't.
I was gonna say I don't think that's gonna happen because I mean exactly to your point, like people that like have those tendencies where it's like
they can't. They're so caught up in their own delusion. They don't even know how to.
Yep.
They don't know. They don't know any different.
Yep.
And it's just like I remember I knew something was up with those guys when they did this was back when they were YouTubers, but they did a video and they had, I think it was Jake or Logan's girlfriend. They blindfolded her, right? I know, already off to a bad start. And they had her like kiss of like a bunch of they had her kiss Jake, Logan, a couple of their friends, and their dad. It was that video that I was like, these guys are gonna do some stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like they're gonna do some stuff, and it's gonna be hilarious. And now we're come to this.
Yeah.
We've come to it. And it's like,
I mean, yeah, it's the whole thing is.
It's like at this point, it's like let's go. Like let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I mean, I think with the hype of this fight, I think the best thing was Dana White basically. I think Dana White kind of like said it the best. He's like, this kid is not a boxer. Like, and this is like months ago. He's like, I'll bet $1 million that Ben Askren puts his kid in his place.
Is that how long they've been planning this fight?
He signed everything like last year, like the end of last year.
So wow, okay. Honestly, I again, I'm just gonna reiterate, I'm ecstatic for this.
Like Jake Paul plays like the ultimate troll game.
Yeah,
Ben Askren is better at it.
He does it, dude. Like Ben Askren does it because he loves his career. Yeah. Everything Jake does is for clout.
Yes.
And to get back at his older brother for what Ben said, shoving his face into the carpet their whole childhood.
Exactly. So, and if you watch like if you need to follow Ben Askren on Twitter because he posts some of the funniest shit ever. Like the one thing he posted, it was like a billboard for the fight, and it was like Ben Askren versus some dude, no cover on April 17th, and it was like in Wisconsin. I'm like, this is amazing. But like he even said it on Logan Paul's podcast. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get made fun of by some teenagers. He's like, I'm still gonna go back to my like wrestling camps. He's like, I'll get made fun of. I don't care. Like because and I love it because his attitude is completely like I give none fucks because he doesn't have anything to prove. The dude's a UFC champion, a Bellator champion, an Olympian, and a national champion collegiate level wrestler. He does not care.
No, and
he's like, if he beats me, whatever.
I like that you gave me the perspective of what you think will happen to Ben, because obviously nothing's going to happen to Ben.
No, he's going to go back to his life, get made fun of, and be like, I don't care, like kid, I'll put you through the like you want to go, like I will tie you in a pretzel, and you will cry like a little schoolgirl. Like he does not care.
and also like he has no skin in this, and but Jake, the only person that has skin in this is Jake. I feel like
he's trying to parlay it into his original plan, which was he wanted to fight McGregor.
Yeah.
Like he that's who initially he went after. He's trying to parlay this fight, if he wins it, into getting somebody bigger in the UFC to fight him.
Yeah.
Fine. I would pay a lot of money to see him try to fight Conor McGregor.
Yeah, and that's not, and Conor McGregor would completely.
He would annihilate him.
He would. I mean, like, dude, he would hit Jake Paul so hard he would disconnect his brain from his brainstem. Like
he would knock that kid into another dimension.
Yeah, no.
Like the dude is not a boxer. He went toe to toe with Floyd Mayweather. Like that's all you need. And the dude's like a renowned MMA champion. Like, go ahead, see what happens if you actually give him 6 months to train as a boxer, because you're not gonna like it.
Yeah. So wait. Now remind me McGregor won that fight with Mayweather, right?
Mm-hmm. Mayweather won it on like some bullshit technicality.
Really?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw like a little bit. It went the whole. I think it went the whole like 10 or 12 rounds.
Wow.
So that's the other thing. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, if you really want to parlay this into like fighting like McGregor, who else, like the other guys, like if you want to fight like McGregor, Cowboy Cerrone, like you want to fight like a legit UFC fighter. You think you got CTE problems now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
you're not gonna like what happens at the end of that fight.
Does Ben Askren have CTE too, or no?
I don't know. Like I said, I know like loosely like a little bit about him from just like watching like from like Joe Rogan, and like then like actually like following him on Twitter and seeing what's going on. So like, but that's the thing. Like if it doesn't matter who wins. He, like I said, Ben Askren doesn't give a shit. If it parlays into him like trying to fight a UFC fighter, like trying to fight like Dylan Dennis, Conor McGregor, somebody else, like he's asking for a very rude awakening. And part of me is like, I want it to end tonight, but the other part of me is like, I really want to see him try to fight like Conor McGregor or Dylan Dennis, because then I'm gonna laugh even more.
Yeah, I just honestly, that's the only reason why I would want him to win, is to watch him get beat up by an even more like better boxer. I'm not saying he's better than Ben Askren, but like if Conor McGregor,
I want to see him. I want to see him like I said. Part of me is like, I just want this kid to shut up and go away. But the other part of me is like, I would love to see this dude just get his ass beat in 30 seconds. Yeah. Like, and then just like whoever he fights just walks out of the cage, is just like, I did the world a favor.
They literally walk off with not even a nosebleed. Maybe like
a slight little like bump here.
I know, like a little slap mark, like a couple little finger marks on the cheek.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. So like I'm torn. Like I said, I obviously I want Ben Askren, because like I said earlier, I can't stand either of the Paul brothers. I don't know why they're famous. I don't know who blessed them with whatever that they got famous. It kind of bothers me a lot, but I'm just like, I want this fight to just like, I want him to just put him through a goddamn wall, and I'll just be like, all right, I'm good for a while for fights. Because I'm kind of like you. I'm a very casual observer of like what goes on in like the UFC and the boxing world. I think it's cool, but I'm not the one paying. I'm not paying these pay-per-view prices to watch them anymore. Like I did it once like right when I got out of college with a couple of my buddies. I went over to their house. We all pitched in for like this big UFC fight. I don't even remember who the hell was fighting. This is like 10, 12 years ago. And I remember it got to the main fight and we're all super excited. My two buddies were outside finishing smoking cigarettes. The fight was over in 10 seconds. They came in and they're like, is the fight like going on? Like, dude, you just missed it.
Fuck. Yeah, no.
So I'm just like,
It's like, damn it, we were smoking.
yeah. I was like, should have waited on the cigarettes, dudes. Could have seen an epic fight, but no. But yeah, like that's the thing. I'm not huge into this stuff. Like, I mean, as far as like sports wise, like I told you before, I watch hockey. That's about it. I'll watch the Olympics. Other than that, I'm kind of like, okay, sports, yay.
Yeah, like the only type of live event sport that I like going to, like I'll go to a baseball game, or I'll go to a hockey game.
Yeah.
I've never been to a football game.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, I mean, eh,
if you ever feel like going to a Steeler game, let me know. I'll go.
no,
But
yeah,
I'm kind of like,
I'm open to it. Whenever all this is over, I'm willing to try anything. Like what is it? I got in October, I got VIP tickets to see Train live, and I'll be literally this close to him too.
nice.
Like, dude, especially as of recently, I watched a bunch of their live clips. Dude, Train, they
They're
can
good.
they can freaking play, dude.
They're good.
And Pat Monahan, freaking great singer, beautiful.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I can't tell you how much, I can't tell you how much I miss live music. It's so bad.
yeah, I know. Like I've been to, what is it? Like a not even maybe 4 concerts before the pandemic,
Yeah.
and now I wish I went to one every week.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. I'm just kind of like, I mean, I bought like last year, the Wonder Years still did their Halloween show. I bought it, live streamed it. It was awesome. Lester Jake did a live Christmas show. Bought it, watched it. I didn't buy the Goldfinger show. I'm kind of mad I didn't, but I got to watch the show. So like I'm happy like they're doing this stuff, but I'm just like, I wanna be at a concert.
Yeah, like
That's all I want.
you want to be there, and that's proof that not all live entertainment's going to go digital. Is like as soon as it's over, like if anything, people are gonna like. Here's what I'm predicting. There's going to be a trend, like social media, the popularity with it's going to dwindle a little bit.
Oh, it is. Because
Like,
people are gonna be like, real life, I can do shit now. Like,
exactly, and it's just like, like right now, I'm thinking about like what is it? A close friend of mine. We'll end in a couple of minutes, but a close friend of mine. I'll make it quick. Known him since like preschool.
yeah,
He started a Twitch channel recently. He just goes on 80 games with his friends,
yeah,
but he's got like 127 followers and like 26 subs. Like he's getting up there, and that's a pretty
yeah,
good follower to subscriber ratio.
yeah.
Right? Subscriber means that they've paid to be a part of your.
You're right. Yeah. So he's monetizing it in a pretty decent way.
Yeah, and you don't get an actual check until you get $100. But the thing is like he's getting up to that point, and I'm thinking about also, doing the same thing and
You
doing
should.
that with live streaming all my shows, and then also just doing just live stream shows, and how
Yeah.
I can, obviously like with gaming and with other types of content, it's not as high effort as performing.
Right.
Performing dude, I get 10 times sweatier when I play through a set than when I work out.
Oh yeah. Well, you think about you think about all the other elements that are going into that, especially the lighting.
Oh,
That adds like what 10, 15 degrees to you immediately.
yeah,
You stand in front of a stage like you're like,
oh, dude, literally, it's the lighting, it's the excitement as well.
yep.
It's obviously the vocal performance. If you're playing, it's even more intense.
Yeah.
Like if you watch any Bruce Springsteen concert, any live taping, he's soaking wet by the
Oh
middle
yeah.
of the first set. Like he's completely drenched. Like I'm surprised that his in-ear system or his quarter-inch jack that goes into his guitar doesn't shock his. Like
Yeah.
that's how sweaty you get when you play.
No, yeah, no. I mean, well, speaking, I'll say just an idea for you, talking about monetizing stuff and little clips and weird stuff. Have you thought about making a Patreon?
I should make a Patreon. Thank you for tuning into the first episode of the Just Because podcast with your host, Marodelo and
Dan the man.
Dan the Man. Please follow us on social media.
Please.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, whatever's still around.
Yeah. Eventually we'll put our links down here.